Ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and today I've got a great video for you guys today. I'm going to be going over the Avalanche's upcoming mini road trip. So on Tuesday, we take on the Capitals in Washington. Thursday, we take on the Panthers in Florida. And then the following game, we take on the Lightning, wrapping up that mini road trip. Today, I'm going to be going over the 9 forwards the Avalanche have, my predictions for each game, and then the lineups for both teams, projected lineups for both teams for those games. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy. If you do, make sure to subscribe and leave a like for many Avalanche, Broncos, NFL, and NHL content. And before we get started, I want to remind you that Jesus is King. I pray that you give your life to Him. He's got a plan and a purpose for you, and He'll make your life so much more calm, peaceful, and give you a purpose. And if you believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins, that He rose from the dead 3 days later to define death, then you'll be saved and you'll go to heaven. And that's just my message every day. And it's something I truly believe in, and something that I feel like I'm called to do is to pass it on to as many people as possible. Now, with that being said, let's jump in to the predictions. So, first of all, we got to go over the injuries and obviously the COVID list for the Colorado Avalanche. So, Nathan MacKinnon will not make the initial trip as he tested positive for COVID again, I believe today. So, he will not make the initial trip. He could hit the back end, maybe Florida and Tampa Bay, or Tampa Bay, or maybe we'll get him back when we have our next home game against the Vegas Golden Knights. But for the time being, Nathan MacKinnon is out and will not make the initial trip. Jack Johnson will probably travel with the team, said Bednar today, because he tested negative for COVID, so he will most likely make the trip with the team coming back maybe against Florida or Tampa Bay. Vidal Nichushkin won't travel. He's still hurt, so, I mean, that's pretty obvious. Landeskog will travel. He will be back against the Florida Panthers. The final game of his suspension is ended after we face the Capitals. And Devon Toews will travel. He might play, he might not play. It just depends on how he's feeling after. Obviously, he got that offseason procedure done, so we'll have to see how Devon Toews is feeling. So the 9 forwards that we will initially have to face the Capitals is Mikko Rantanen, Nazem Kadri, Andre Burakovsky, Logan O'Connor, Tyson Jost, Darren Helm, Dylan Sikura, Sampo Ranta, and Jason Megna. And then we get our 10th forward with Gabriel Landeskog coming back against the Florida Panthers. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, why don't we just call up some guys from the Colorado Eagles, such as Martin Kaut, Alex Newhook, all of those guys? It's actually not possible with our current cap situation. If we did, we would be over the cap, and it would just be we just can't do it because of cap reasons. It's stupid, but it is what it is. And then obviously, I can't remember if I said it, but we get Gabriel Landeskog back for the final 2 games of the road trip. Then our defense, we have Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Bowen Byram, Eric Johnson, Curtis McDermott, Ryan Murray, potentially Devon Toews, depending on how he's feeling, like I said, with the procedure, and potentially Jack Johnson on how he's dealing with his COVID situation. And then the goaltenders for the road trip will be Darcy Kemper and Jonas Johansson. I do expect Jonas Johansson to get 1 game starting to give Darcy Kemper a break after, I mean, he's been put through the ringer. The first game, I mean, not as much against the Blackhawks, and then against the Blues, he was put against the ringer with all of our forwards out, and our defense just wasn't playing well that game. So I do expect Johansson to start a game to give Kemper a rest day. So the lines versus the Capitals, we will actually be only rolling out with 3 lines with the 9 forwards we have. The first line will be Andre Burakovsky and Mikko Rantanen, centered by Nazem Kadri. Second line will be Tyson Jost and Sampo Ranta, centered by JT Compher. And then the third line will be Sikura and Darren Helm, centered by Jason Megna. And that's going to have to be what's going on. I do expect maybe Bednar to change up the lines and mix them up during this game so the lines are not the same. So we'll see what happens with that. I do expect the power play to be Rantanen, Kadri, Burakovsky, Comfer, and Kale McCarr. But I mean that it is what it is, and I do expect this to be the lines for, for the game against the Capitals. For the defense against the Capitals, I do expect Samuel Girard and Kale McCarr to be the first pairing, Bowen Byram and Erik Johnson to be the second pairing, and Curtis McDermott and Ryan Murray to be the third pairing for the Avalanche. I mean, that's pretty simple. Same as last game against the Blues. And against the Capitals, I do expect Darcy Kemper to start over Jonas Johansson. I mean, the Capitals, I got a lot of firepower. Obviously, starting with Alex Ovechkin, you can't ignore that. I do expect him to get the start because he is the starter, and he should start a majority of the games. And I think the Capitals' first road game, someone with Ovechkin, I do expect Kemper to start. For the Capitals line, I mean, the Capitals are a really good team. They obviously got Kuznetsov, Alex Ovechkin, and Tom Wilson on the line. They got Anthony Mantha, Eller Sprong, Sherry Lapierre, TJ Oshie's on that line, Dowd, Hagelin, and Hathaway. I mean, that's a solid four lines, and I mean, jeez. The defense, though, not as scary in my opinion. They got Firavi, Carlson, Orlov, Jensen. They have James Van Riemsdyk's brother. I know it's not James Van Riemsdyk, it's his brother, and then Schultz. For their goalies, they have Vitek Vanacek and Ilya Samsonov. They traded Vitek Vanacek was selected by the Kraken in the expansion draft, and then they traded him back to the Capitals. So I think it's kind of funny. I don't know who's going to start. I could see either Vitek Vanacek or Ilya Samsonov starting. So I would expect either. I'm not too sure yet who will be playing. So the predictions, once again, we're going to be doing the forwards, the defense, the goalie, and then the prediction of the game. So who has the advantage in the forward category for this game? And I think it's pretty obviously the Capitals, considering we're missing Nathan MacKinnon, Val Nichushkin, Gabe Landeskog. We're missing a bunch of players, so I do expect, I do know that the Capitals have the advantage on the forwards. However, our Avalanche do have the advantage on the defense with Cale Makar, Sam Girard, Bo Byram, Erik Johnson. I personally think we have the best blue line in the NHL. That might be a little bit of a biased statement, but I do believe it's true. So I am going to give the advantage to our defense in this one. And then the advantage for the goaltender, it's either Darcy Kemper versus Vitek Vanacek and Ilya Samsonov. I'm going to give that one to Darcy. I love Darcy. I think he's one of the best goaltenders in the league. I've thought so since he was with the Coyotes. And I'm happy that he's on our team. A little bit unfortunate last game against the Blues, but I still believe in Darcy Kemper, so I'm giving us the advantage there. And I do have us winning 3-2. I don't think our offense is going to be super on fire, kind of like the Blues game. We did start slow in that game, but it's just tough. I do expect the top line to be effective with Burakovsky, Kadri, and Rantanen. Maybe Sampo Ranta jumps in a little bit, but I don't expect a high scoring. I mean, it's fairly high scoring, 3-2, but it's not like super high scoring. And I expect our defense to be good with Darcy Kemper, and then our defense helping him out, not letting the Capitals get a whole lot of goals there. So that is the game versus the Capitals. So let's move on to the Florida Panthers game. Landeskog's suspension is up, so the top line will be Kadri as the center and Gabriel Landeskog and Mikko Rantanen as the wingers. Second line, JT Compher with Andre Burakovsky and Sampo Ranta as the wingers. Third line, I have Tyson Jost as the center and Dylan Sekura and Darren Helm as the two wingers. And I have Jason Magna as the extra man out there, and he'll probably rotate in wherever need be for Jared Bednar. But it's nice to have that extra skater. Obviously, we would like to have a whole fourth line, but right now that's not possible, and we just need Nathan MacKinnon back, man. And then for the defense, I have Samuel Girard, Cale Makar, Bowen Byram, Erik Johnson, Jack Johnson, and Ryan Murray. Same as against the Capitals. I don't think Taves... Oh, no. I have actually Jack Johnson jumping in I do think he'll be recovered from his COVID. So I do have him jumping back in with Ryan Murray on the defense, replacing Curtis McDermott. And then for the goaltender against the Panthers, I am having Jonas Johansson starting this game against the Panthers, giving Darcy Kemper the night off. The Panthers also are a really good team. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Panthers on how good they are. I mean, that first line is... I think that first line is really good. Alexander Barkov, Tyler Verhaeghe, and Sam Reinhart. And then Tyler Verhaeghe, I believe. What did I say? What did I say? I can't remember. Man, I can't. I sometimes mess up people's first names. But I mean that is a great first line for the Panthers. And then Carter Verhaeghe, sorry. Carter Verhaeghe, Alexander Barkov, and Sam Reinhart. And then that second line, I mean, geez Louise. People are just sleeping on the Panthers. I mean, that's not what this video is for, but they have Jonathan Huberdeau, Sam Bennett, and Tippett, and then they have Lundell, Hornquist, Vertano, Joe Thornton, Anthony Duclair, and Lomberg. That's a solid line right there. In the defense, they have Uyghur, Aaron Ekblad, Forsling, Gudis, Kiersted, and Montour. And then for their goaltenders, I have them giving Sergei Bobrovsky the night off, and I have them starting rookie Spencer Knight against us. And let's jump into the predictions. So, forwards, I'm going with the Panthers here. I do think that the Panthers forwards currently are better than the Avs with the injuries we have out, and they have a great team. I am giving the advantage to our defense, though. I think our defense is solid and just like I said, the best blue line against the like I said against the Capitals. I think we have the best blue line hands down, so that's why I'm giving the advantage to the Avalanche. For goaltender, I put Avalanche here, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change this to the Panthers because we do have Jonas Johansson starting. I am going to change that to the Panthers. I'm not a huge fan of Jonas Johansson. He can get the job done, but he's not my preferred goaltender. I wish we had Pavel Francouz as the backup right now, but unfortunately we don't. So right now the Panthers have the advantage in goalie. I think Spencer Knight's a good goalie, plus Sergei Bobrovsky. But I do have the Avalanche winning in overtime 4-3. Once again, this is the Panthers. But you know, I have a feeling we're gonna win an OT. It's gonna be tied 3-3, and then we're gonna have a one-timer from Mikko, and we're gonna win the game. That's my prediction. But once again, you all know that I'm obviously biased towards the Avalanche, and you know, I made the mistake of putting the Avs as the better goaltender here with Jonas Johansson. I don't think Johansson is terrible, but I think Spencer Knight is just gonna be better. And now the Avalanche versus the Lightning. It's going to be the same lines versus the Panthers of Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, and Mikko Rantanen on the top line. Andre Burakovsky, JT Compher, and Sampo Ranta on the second line. Jason Secura, right? No, it's Jason Magna, Tyson Jost. Jason Magna is the extra skater. Tyson Jost, Darren Helm, Dylan Secura, and it's just going to be the same lines. For the first time this season, we have Devon Taves and Cale Makar paired up on the first defensive pairing. Then we have Samuel Girard and Eric Johnson on the second pairing. And then I have Bowen Byram and Jack Johnson on the second pairing. And obviously, Girard and Eric Johnson are going to be a good pairing. Bo Byram and Jack Johnson are going to be a good pairing. And then we obviously have Curtis McDermott and Ryan Murray as extra skaters for the team. And that could be I guess a fourth defensive pairing if we wanted. But you know, it's gonna be Struggleville with the limited forwards we got. And I do have Darcy Kipper starting against the Lightning. That's why we gave him the night off to prepare for this game. Jonas Johansson is the backup. And dude, look at this lines for the Lightning, dude. Braden Point, Anze Palat, Nikita Kucherov. Dude, they got Killorn, Sorelli, Stamkos. Oh my goodness. They got Maroon, Colton. They got Corey Perry. They got Kachuk. They got my boy Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. They got Joseph. Their defense is even pretty good. They got Victor Hedman, Rhoda, Ryan McDonough, Cernak, Sergachev, and Suster. And then they got Andrei Vasilevsky, and Jake Elliott. I mean, that's gonna be a good goaltending tandem. Forwards, obviously the Lightning. They might even have us there, maybe just in general. I still like our forwards that we have when we're healthy, but definitely the Lightning right now with the injuries and COVID situation going on. Defense, like I said, I think we're unmatched in that area. Goaltender, I'm giving to the Lightning. Obviously, Andrei Vasilevsky is a great goaltender. And I have the Lightning winning 5-3. Unfortunately for us, we drop one here against Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay, one of the better teams, obviously won back-to-back cups. They're still a really good team, and with how banged up we are and how hurt we are, we would love to beat the Lightning, but with how banged up we are, and especially if Nathan MacKinnon isn't back with COVID and he just doesn't play at all during the road trip, I don't see us winning this one, unfortunately. But I think we put up a fight, putting up 3 goals, and yeah, so I do have us going 2-1 on the road trip, which would move us to 3-2 on the season. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.